Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. 40.
We got to 40 episodes and not
Do you know
killed
in
each
like
other.
in a few like episodes, this is going to be the longest thing I've ever done on YouTube because I think one of my career modes was like 46 episodes or something.
Yeah.
And it was only ever once. And
The
now the podcast.
For
Go
me,
on.
the longest thing I've done on YouTube is actually covering Sheffield Wednesday. I've done it for 10 years plus now.
Yeah. I mean a dedicated series though. You've changed your format so much. Like now you just like go, I can't really be bothered. Here's my face in portrait.
Well,
I'm going to talk to you for 20 seconds.
To be fair, those shorts are actually really good at getting your numbers up and getting information out. And I'll tell you about it off air because it's interesting what YouTube are pushing.
No, I know. I've got the same thing come through. I will talk about that in a bit, obviously. Anyway, why did we mention that on the podcast? No need. It's just there's some short stuff going around, like use shorts, please. YouTube are basically saying. Might actually do it because I don't get to chat to people that often, so I might use shorts a little bit more anyway. Anyway, how's your week been, mate? I'm Dexterity Box, joined as always by Jake Puncture41. How's your week been, Jake?
It's been good. It's been busy, but it's been good. It's been a good busy. I'm planning a lot of things. There's this going, the YouTube channel that I've massively dedicated into the F&D podcast stuff now. Everything's going a little bit mental, but I like it. I actually like the chaos because me doing stuff is better for my health in a stupid way. And it sounds daft, but it's actually been really good. I had a good birthday yesterday, apart from Sheffield Wednesday, but hey.
Oh my God, I didn't wish you happy birthday.
Don't worry. You've been busy.
Oh my God. No, that's terrible because I only spoke to you once yesterday and it was to organise the podcast and I've not been online pretty much at all yesterday.
You've been absolutely busy, mate. It's
no,
all right.
mate, but that's no excuse. That's terrible. I didn't... let's be honest, everybody in this day and age relies on Facebook to remind them when people's birthdays are.
When people's memories are.
Yeah.
I prefer that one.
I didn't even go on Facebook apart from... I don't even think I went on Facebook yesterday. I just pulled the notification tab down to reply to your message about the podcast. I'm sorry. Did you have a lovely birthday, Jake? We're recording on Sunday, by the way,
yes.
Which is why everything's all over the place. But,
it was good. It was good. I'm a year older, so. And today I'm 30. I'm 34. 6 years away from that 40, so hey.
Well, you're not dead yet, so.
I actually got a card saying, look, you're a year older and you're not dead yet. Think yourself lucky.
Yeah.
Which I like. How's your week been?
Bit busy, as usual. But I don't want to say that every week. My weeks are busy right now, but I'm getting better at it. My fitness is getting way better.
That's good.
Like with everything I'm doing, so it's nice to get out of that. I'd like less work.
You're looking a lot healthier recently.
Yeah, it's because I was sat on. Well, I wasn't sat on my arse for that long, but I was not as active as I used to be, and it does pay a toll on you, Mid-20s, coming towards later mid-20s now, so it's sort of like where you need to make sure that you're keeping your body moving, otherwise it will start to seize on you. So COVID didn't really help with all of that. So I'm eating right. I'm on a specific...
you got like veganish, haven't you? A kind of
not
vegan diet.
No, you can't put that
did you
out
not
there,
do that?
I've got long hair. You can't put that out
true.
there. They'll be like, oh my God, yes, he's fulfilling all the stereotypes. No, I am doing more sort of like meat-free days, not vegan days as such. I've tried one vegan day, but I just really like cheese.
Can't go wrong with that one.
But no, I've tried to reduce the amount of meat I have because the amount of meat and the amount of crap meat we have and the amount of overly processed meat and the amount of like battery meat we have and stuff, we don't need it all. I want, if I'm going to have a meat meal, I want it to be decent, that's the way I've been doing it. So yeah, I have been doing sort of like varying my diet up a little bit in that. But because I've been doing that, I think I've been heavily focusing on my sources of protein, getting my fiber in, making sure I get my vitamins in and stuff like that. And it's actually making me more energetic and I'm feeling better in the day. I mean, after work, it still takes it all out of me.
Yeah.
But like, I'm actually on a calorie deficit and still feeling like I've got energy because I'm eating right. So, and just making sure I get a lot of protein in there. However, I will say, well, if you're using protein bars for some stuff, make sure they're the right ones, first of all, because they're not always the best for you. But don't have multiple ones in a day because, the little fine print that says they can produce laxative effects on the back. Christ on a bike. On an actual bike. It was... I mean, I nearly got there. It wasn't quite bad, but I could see what they were alluding towards. Let's say that much.
Yeah.
But no, I'm trying to just get a grasp on everything again.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to Christmas. I've got a bit of time off over Christmas, so I'm running towards that break.
Yeah.
I've actually got a few days. I've got a few days in the next couple of weeks that I can take, so I'm gonna probably do YouTube work during them, but
make the most of it.
Yeah, but it's nice, to be able to do that. I just wish, honestly, I wish I had the time I had in lockdown to do all the YouTube stuff with actual football content going on, because there was a lot of time because all my content relied on like going to football and stuff like that. I could have done so much with that time off, where I was working from home, and I could make my schedule a little bit more. It just sucks that like I'd have loved to have done more match vlogs and stuff like that, but we'll see. But yeah, should we do some housekeeping? So
we might as well.
Don't forget to follow our socials. I'm at Dexterity Box on Twitter and Instagram. Jake's at PunkChef41 on the same platforms. Yep. And at Talking Wed on Twitter is the official Talking Wednesday social media platform. I'm also on, as you've been finding, Dexterity Box on Facebook recently. I've seen that getting likes and likes and likes because people are just finding it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've not posted on it since we started this podcast. I will start using it a bit more. There is people liking it now, so we'll
it's amazing when you remember you got a Facebook when the notification comes through. Go, oh yeah, I did set that up, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't. Ever since the ad account got hacked, and I took all my payment methods off. Because I used to run ads for the band. If we were playing a gig or something, you'd run ads that you were playing a venue near. So anybody who got likes on that venue would potentially get it, as a sponsored thing that this band are playing there. This is some of their music, and it was good for that Facebook. However,
when you get burnt by Facebook, then
the safety protocol. Yeah. Honestly, mate, that was
nice.
Horrible. So it was like a case of I just removed all my payment stuff off there and just closed all of that side. So I've not been as on Facebook since then, really. And I've made sure everything else is closed down. But yeah, just be careful. If you, for example, you are a musician in that perspective, all it takes is somebody to be able to get in that. And you don't think Facebook would be tied to your money, but there is stuff that's tied to your money, So yeah, I haven't been able to check the reviews because I'm in a different setup. If you're a video watcher, you'll be able to see that today.
I checked also, Saturday, Friday. They didn't look like there was any new ones.
Fair enough. Make sure you do that. Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, the likes. If my audio's a little bit off today, guys, apologies. I am in a different setup, as I said, but we actually talked about delaying the first ever podcast episode today. But we've managed to squeeze it in this time. So we're always getting it. We're always making sure it's a priority, even if it kills us. Discord is there. Come and join the Discord.
The Discord is popping at the minute as well. There's a lot of good topics going, and it's really good, especially on a match day. Some of the chats in the Talking Wednesday thread is very interesting. I've removed the link because we had some sneaky people come in and try and promote their own stuff in our Discord. So because I made it very accessible. I had to make that. So if you want the Discord link, DM me or DM Jake, and we'll just make sure you're not somebody that's going to come in and after the 10-minute buzz try and pimp all your stuff and then bounce. And you can join it and join the community. There's also memberships available on the channel. Click join below. If you are a podcast listener, you know how to do that. Just go over to youtube.com/dexteritybox and support us there. But yes, that is the housekeeping out of the way into the all-important part of the podcast. Adam Smith writes in,
and says, not football related, but out of the current squad, who would you like to go on a night out with, and
Patterson.
why?
Because he just
Big
looks
P.
fun. I just want to go.
You want to spend a night?
Patterson.
You want to spend a night with a Big P?
What do you? Did you? Going there already, are we? What did you see? Did you see the walkout clip of him squirting Dunkley?
Big P was squirting Dunkley.
Yeah. So basically, they're doing the walkout to the pit to inspect it, and Patterson's in front, and he takes a swig and he squirts his water bottle over him, nearly gets Dunkley. I just think he's a great character, and I think he would be a really good night out kind of thing. I think he would be a good night out. I think Adeniran would be good. I think Fizz would be good. There's a lot that I think would be good. But the only problem is with this squad we've got now, we've got a lot of people in the squad who are dads. So
that doesn't stop them though, because they're still young lads. They're lads with money. They don't really stop them. You know, they're doing different walks of life. When you're a dad and you're sort of like a little bit more on the, let's say the normal level of societal wealth, you have to think about your responsibilities a little bit more. However, if you are loaded, you can still be a bit mental and not have to worry about all that.
I think a night out in Sheffield or Scotland with some of the Scottish lads would be awesome.
Yeah, I actually concur with that. I always used to think when Adam Reach was in the team, he's into this quite a lot of decent music. That had been that side of it. But yeah, I think you're probably right. The Scottish lads in the side would be good for a night out with. We've got another important write-in to deal with before we get into the Sheffield Wednesday talk.
I read this and they confused me.
This is from That's Lotto Nuts, right? And he or she, they writes in and goes, limes, juvenile lemons, or just irresponsible citrus fruit?
Irresponsible citrus fruit because they don't taste like a lemon.
Well, that's the thing. It's the linking to lemons here. Is he implying that there's some sort of because orange is also on the citric chart?
Yes, very
so
true.
is he implying that everything that is citric has got a level of responsibility and therefore limes fall on the irresponsible side of responsibility?
Just
whereas
remember,
lemons...
this is a Sunday and he's asking questions like this.
Well, I'm just saying.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a very important topic, and Juvenile Lemons, for one, that's a great name for a band.
That is a good name for
Lemons.
a band. That is a good name.
I think that, well, limes, I think I convinced myself many years ago, and I still sort of do this, because I thought lime made me sick, because every time I'd had something with lime in it, I threw up. But then, I sort of like narrowed that down a little bit, and went, James, that was like tequila and stuff with lime put in it. And
there we go.
And everything. And then it adds up. And then you think, maybe there was something to that a little bit more than just the... I
think it may have been the tequila. The tequila isn't friends with anyone.
Yeah, or mixing, for example. Because I usually drink Despers on a night out, which is actually mixing in itself.
Yeah.
And then I'll have shots and I'll have all that. So yeah. Blame the lime though, guys. But no, it does. I think
I used to blame the lime for all the viruses when I was growing up on my computer. So yeah.
Oh my god, that old thing. Yeah, I don't even know if we can say that because it's.
That's why I didn't even.
Yeah. That's. I don't know what you're talking about, actually, Jake.
You're a musician. We support.
I am not an irresponsible citrus fruit. Right. Thank you very much for writing in. That's Lotto Nuts for that. You can keep your writings coming, and we'll get to more at the end of the show when we talk about the Sheffield Wednesday writing. So, Sheffield Wednesday played AFC Wimbledon this week on Saturday. Since we last spoke to you, lining up with Wildsmith, who kept his place in net. There was some debate whether he was going to or not. It was Hunt, Iorfa, Dunkley, Palmer, Deli Basharu, who we said we want to see more of, actually got some game time. Bannon, Wing, Brown, Patterson, Gregory. You can't really ask for much more than that, to be honest.
No.
I think it's a good side. I mean, Hunt maybe more sort of like, well, I don't know, because Brown was in there as well. You can't really ask for much more with that lineup, really, unless you wanted to see two up top with Berahino as part of that too.
To be fair, the Patterson Gregory two up top works quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I still kind of want to see. I
know
like
what you
Patterson
mean.
further behind,
Yeah.
and then, what was your thoughts on the match then, Jake? I'll try and stop saying as well. I apologise.
He'd been watching so many Darren Moore interviews, it's fine at catching. But the problem we've got, to be fair, in terms of the game, it was very good. We did the attacking things right. We attacked well. Slightly disappointed with Wing. He's very much give the ball away. He's dropped off since a couple of games ago. He's starting to look like he's at fault at times. But he actually set the team up really nice. It was 3-5-2. It looked good. He went for that again. It was good to see. Fizz being in midfield, we've been calling for it all season, and he was the difference. He had bulked up so much this season from last season. He's a tank. If he don't get more game time, it's criminal because he's looking really good. He had that ready-made to a point. If he can get bits of his game sorted, we got that ready-made Luongo there, ready to play that position. And it would be nice to see. It was a very good goal. Great ball by Bannon. Good ball to Gregory with a nice little turn and touch. Second half, we went at him again. Really went at him. Their keeper made an absolutely blinding double save to keep Gregory away from his hat-trick and Berahino. And the keeper did really well. He was really sorry. But we attacked. 14 shots, 9 on target. I don't think we've had that since the Morecambe game, really. Got a penalty, scored from it. Gregory took it. Nice to see a striker stepping up and taking it and going, I'm going to have this. But then, as soon as any team scores against us, we break. They scored and we were doing silly little passes. We didn't look comfortable. The moment a team scores against us, mentally, we're broken. We don't know what to do when a team do. When they got that second, the players were just dejected. They were like, well, they can't keep happening. 85th minute again. 80th minute. I'm putting a protest. I'm putting a boycott out there. Sheffield Wednesday only play till the 70th minute now because we can't do 90-minute matches because it's always that last.
Well, that's why they wanted to go with the some of the Premier. The what was the bloke? Was it the guy who owns Real Madrid? He was like, we're going to look at the Super League. He was like, we're going to look at making them shorter. People don't want these longer games. Well, maybe in Sheffield Wednesday's case they would help, but that was a disastrous idea.
But 2-2 at the start of the game. I wouldn't have taken it, but considering we were 2-0 up and we didn't lose it, the thing is, we're coming against teams who are very resilient. Yeah, that's not it, a word.
Resolute.
But that's the word. Thank you very much. And they're very good. They don't die. They will not give up. And that's the problem we got. And you could tell in the interview with Moore, in the interview with Gregory, there's that thing where they know it's there and they don't know what it is. But this isn't a Darren Moore thing like I've seen on Twitter. People saying, more need to go now, more need. We've been like this since Josh Lukai, where we haven't had this. Steve Bruce kind of fixed it, but didn't.
Mate, but it's different. The difference is, look, offering the counter side of that is it's different players and it's a different manager. So how is it the same thing? The only thing that's really the same is a couple of players and the crest and the stadium and the owner, and the owner's not going with it. It's just there's something
not right when it comes to that thing. I don't know what it is.
I mean, the keepers are the same, but Wildsmith didn't have a bad game again. I still think he keeps
Wildford keeps his place on Saturday. Tuesday even, sorry.
Tuesday for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm streaming Cambridge, by the way. If you are watching this now and you tonight on the Tuesday, I'm streaming it. So,
and I will be in the chat talking.
Yeah, as you were saying.
It's a weird one. I don't get this team when it comes to as soon as another team scores. Positives. If you want positives, we went and got 2 goals. We made a lot of chances. We didn't bury them, but
could have been 4 or 5 though. It could have been 4 or 5 though.
Yeah, it's the Morecambe situation all over again, where we made a lot of chances but didn't bury them. We
didn't lose though.
Exactly, and
we lost against Morecambe.
I think we're only a point or 2 away from playoffs again. And people are turning around saying, yeah, but we're going for promotion. We are going to promotion. It's a very long season. I had
about 5 DMs saying, what are your thoughts on Darren Moore? Surely this is time now. And I was like, why?
What is changing more going to do apart from upset the apple cart again?
A lot of the conversations I were having. Sorry, I'm not meaning to interrupt you. Like a lot of the conversations I were having were the substitution Berahino for Fizz. You know, that sort of change, taking Fizz off was not a good idea.
He did pick up a knock.
Was that a straight swap?
That was Fizz for Berahino.
Yeah, it was a straight swap. I thought it was. So the conversations I was having, there was a lot of we shouldn't have taken Fizz off because we lost it there. But yeah, as Darren Moore did say, he took a knock in there. So and Berahino nearly scored. He nearly, you know.
To be fair, so did Fizz. Fizz nearly scored.
It's just one of them.
Yeah.
This season's going to be full of one of them, and people are talking about Ryan Lowe coming in.
He's not going to leave Plymouth.
Even if he was to leave Plymouth, why? Because he's got no money to spend. This is what This is going to be difficult because now there's this vitriol against a lot of the fan base with Darren Moore. But Darren Moore's had no money to spend.
Yep.
Any manager that currently comes in is going to have no money to spend. Darren Moore has done all right with, there's questions about his tactics sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's done all this with no money. And we're not even wanting to give him a full season. I don't get it.
He's been here 6 months. We've shown that Chansiri will give managers time. He gave Lukai a little bit too much time. He gave Monk 2-ish seasons to a point, kind of thing. He will give people time. And I don't think changing the manager is the answer all the time. Because that you're just going to go through a merry-go-round of changing the manager. And somebody turned around and said in the comment section ages ago on one of our videos saying, yeah, but he's still playing off the manager still and stuff. He's like, but more still got to go. You've made your own point. He's still paying managers off now. If that's the case, in compensation stuff. So why do you want to sack another?
Go. He's not going to go.
He got to figure it out. He will do. I do. The part of me like what they do in the NFL. In the NFL, each section has a coach for each section. So you have a defensive coach, a wide receiver coach, attacking coach kind of thing. I like that idea because the thing that gets me with the whole defending thing, Darren Moore's an ex-defender. So this must be winding him up, seeing how simple some of the things are.
Especially because he's getting the attacking right now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Against Wimbledon, you could see the attacking side, that's in there. It's the mistakes. I don't know if you watched the press back for the last goal where the cross came in.
Yeah.
We sort of backed off the player and gave him the space thinking, he's not going to dink it in from there. And the cross goes in,
The cross was basically a free kick with the way he took it. And the thing is, Brown, people are having to go, Brown was injured. Brown should have come off. Brown got an injury in that game and he didn't sub him. And I don't get why. You could have brought Johnson on. He could have brought him. The annoying thing now is our injury room is now getting quite full. You've got Hutch, you've got Gibson, you've now possibly got Delhi, you've probably got Brown, Adeniran didn't play because he had a slight muscle issue, and they're all muscle injuries. Every single time it's a muscle injury.
It's overworking them then, isn't it?
It's either overworking
like
them.
That.
It's overworking
there's a lot of games in League One as well, which doesn't help.
The only thing, it's a mixture of overworking, and it also makes you wonder what state the actual pitches at Middlewood are like in terms of
also
how
the
they
League
feel.
One pitches as well.
Yeah.
We've not been at home a lot. People seem to forget this point as well. We've not been at home a lot. How often we had a lot to Hillsborough? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not
a lot of our home games. To be fair, a lot of our home games are in January onwards, which could be a blessing in disguise if we're trying to make Hillsborough a fortress.
Do you know when we were 2-0 up?
Yep.
I was fully expecting at the end of that game Twitter to be more like, this is the run that we were talking about going on now because we're getting results out of stuff. After the Bolton match and that.
I did have a big rant on my video and I got slated for it. And I'm not normally one to rant on my things about it, but it's just getting to the point where you can tell you could put a bet on Wednesday now and guarantee a winner when the other team's going to score. It's
not good enough for conceding, but the Wimbledon game is not enough for me to say more out.
Not for me.
It's not. And I'm sorry if that's what you're here for. Trust me, when we say it's time for a manager to go, there's a turning point, right? I even turned on Carlos at one point, right?
So did I.
And now look in hindsight, right? There's a time when we all turn for it because we look at it logically. And at that point with Carlos, for example, it looked like he'd lost the dressing room, which is why it was sort of like, and we found out from Wallace later down the line that he'd lost off of it. Yeah, so
it's like when people say more too much of a nice guy, too nicey. You're seeing more in front of a camera. You're not seeing more behind the scenes. There's a different personality to a more behind the scenes and more in front of the camera. He's not going to go out and rip a player because he just, what's the point?
I just think we didn't lose that. We're throwing stuff away and it is still individual errors. It's the defending again is just not good enough.
Middle of the park week as well. Because we're losing it a lot.
Apart from with Fizz. And that's the thing, that could be the sign coming through. And obviously Adeniran as well. That is how you say his name, innit?
Yep.
It's not Adeniran and I can't stop. But
welcome to the Premier League.
I do still think we should give Addy Owen some game time though. That'd be interesting.
Hey, he got a hat trick in the under 23s.
Did he? Very nice.
He got a hat trick on the under 23s and looked very good.
Well, if he's scoring at that level, just bring him in. Exactly. He can't be too far off if we're needing that. But Darren Moore focusing, Gregory taking the penalty. You know the likes of that. If we're going to build it around a striker and build it like Gregory and try and get a link up with him there, he seems to have his attacking options there, right?
He was very unlucky not to get a hat-trick as well. He deserved one. He worked.
Defensively, that'll be interesting. Thank you very much for giving me something to edit out there, Jake.
Sorry.
By the way. He knows I've got no time, and then he does something that could get...
I drop a B word.
Yes. It's more time for more for me.
Yep.
That's it. You know, I can't make a judgment on it yet. Let's just calm down all a little bit, shall we? And I'll be saying that every week, unless it's really, really bad. I don't know what people... How do you expect, straight after a rebuild, with no money,
yeah,
no money was spent on transfer fees, so it wasn't even a full rebuild because we couldn't pay for anyone. It was all free transfers. We had to scrape the barrel. And he managed to scrape the barrel and find some of the gold that was left in the inside of the barrel. I don't know why the gold was in the barrel, but he managed to find some of it, you know, like Adeniran, that sort of player. And we're still in October saying, nah, it's time now.
I think I had it on, there was a comment on my channel, it basically said, we should be smashing this league. Show me where we should be smashing this league. Because we shouldn't be. We are on a rebuild for a reason. And saying we're going to smash this league is really disrespectful to the teams that are in here. People are thinking of League One back in the day. This ain't League One back in the day. This is a League One with some very tough teams in.
It's difficult because our club stature, yes, we should be smashing this league. But the current situation of our club, we've got no right to smash this league. We should be up there and we should be fighting for it. And as the players are saying, and we'll talk about later on, it's unacceptable to not be in the playoffs and fighting for it because we definitely should be top 6 and going for it. But we can't just go off the, with Sheffield Wednesday, we've got high standards.
The picture of Fizz
at the
end of the game, the picture of Fizz at the end of the game summed it up for me nicely. The frustration. Do you see the picture?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it summed it up nicely. It's like, we can't keep doing this. I need somebody who's not been a first-team player.
Yeah. They get it. The players get it, and the players know it's on them, and we'll talk about it later on. But yeah,
we will.
Just give more time, and we'll see what happens. Into the news. The FA Cup is going to kick off in November for us in November. That is, it's been going since August, let's be honest, if we're looking at all the levels. I've got Plymouth in the first round on the 6th of November.
At home.
Yep. It's going to be an interesting
150th year with the FA Cup as well, which I didn't know.
Yeah, it would be nice for us to go on a little bit of a cut run. It's not... We've got the Pizza Cup in there as well. We probably need that one out of the way, to be honest, if we're going to focus on the league and get less games. But Yeah, we'll
see what happens. Let's just not
we'll
do
see
a
what
repeat performance as last time.
Yeah, we need to actually, with the amount of fixtures we've got, the FA Cup would become problematic with muscle injuries and things like that. I hate to say that because you become one of them fans, but
it's true.
If you're going for promotion, it's quite awkward when you don't have a big squad for rotation. Speaking of a big squad for rotation, maybe we'll have some new youngsters coming through the side in the coming years. Jack Hall has signed a pro deal. This is from the Wednesday website. Goalkeeper Jack Hoyle has signed his first professional contract with Sheffield Wednesday. The hugely promising young shot stopper has risen all the way through our academy system to put pen to paper on his first pro deal. It caps a memorable period for the Wednesdayite, who turned 17 last weekend and made his under-18 England debut on Monday with a 3-0 win over Russia. At just 17 years old, Hall is a regular trainer with Darren Moore's first team squad and also gained valuable minutes playing for the under-23s this season. Delighted having committed to Wednesday, he told SWFC.co.uk, quote, "You can't explain it. I'm speechless. It's been a dream forever. I used to be a ball boy. I've come all the way through. Been here since I was 6, 7, and it's unreal. I'm training with the first team, and it's been a massive step up. Some shots can pass you before you've even seen them. But it's about adapting to it, getting up to speed. I'm still growing, still learning, and trying to get better every day." So we got another one young keeper coming through the ranks.
I like this.
If he can snap at the heels of... I'm doing to you, mate. I'm turning to you. Is it contagious?
40 episodes in and it's finally happening.
A young one coming through the academy to give some pressure on the goalkeeping situation.
The way I look at this, and the way we also got the other Luke Jackson, is it Render, that's it. It screams of old school Wednesday when we had the likes of Richard O'Donnell, Wildsmith.
Yeah.
We got the keepers. Now, if we're going to do this, when it comes to when we think they're ready to step up, play them. Because that's where we've gone wrong with Wildsmith and Dawson.
I'd give him a shout in the cup.
Yes.
I know he'd probably want to put Bailey back in there and give Bailey a chance, but if Wildsmith's keeping his position, give him a chance in the cup. We've got the Pizza Cup and the FA Cup.
And every other cup that I decide to throw in.
Give him a try in the... Yeah. Yeah, give him a... with so many cups, he can definitely get a try in the Milk Cup or something, can't he?
No wonder we got so many injuries.
I think he should definitely have a first team run out, see how he gets on. And then obviously he'll concede 5, his confidence will be shot, and everybody will say he's crap, and that's the Wednesday way. Or he'll do really well and he'll go to Celtic.
How are you doing up there, lads? Any game time yet? No? Okay, fine.
You said that. Che Dunkley is in no rush to sort out his Sheffield Wednesday deal. This comes from Yorkshire Live. It does, doesn't it?
No, it comes from the Yorkshire Post.
It comes from the Yorkshire Post. Different paper. Dunkley's deal, quote, Dunkley's deal expires at the end of the season, with fitness issues having hampered the 29-year-old for major spells of his time at the club thus far. I'm going to read slower, guys. My words aren't helping me today, and it's becoming a thing on this podcast when we record, so I'm going to slow it down. Quote, "It hasn't been mentioned to me. I just need to play more games and make sure I'm ready. I didn't play as many games last season, and I knew it would be tough. This season, I need to be fit and ready to play games, and I have done that. I have been in football for so long, so those talks might be had closer to January. If not, no problem for me. I just have to be ready. As it stands, there have not been talks. It does not bother me. Would I like to stay at the club? Of course, I would. Am I going to definitely be here? I cannot tell you that. I haven't spoken to the gaffer or people higher. There's more to it. In terms of playing football and what deals are proposed, that is common sense. I'm not here to hold the club to ransom. I am contracted until the end of the season, and I want to focus on Sheffield Wednesday," end quote. So that quote's more like he's keeping his options open. When I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure Wednesday will give him a deal.
I'm not. I don't.
I'm not slating the man, by the way. I think he's got.
To be fair, when he came into an interview he did for one of the lot online, he actually turned around and said he just had a row with Theo. He said, I'm in a really bad mood because I just had a row with Wanderer Wig Kid. So I'm not in the great mood. It's like, Wanderer Wig Kid? Yeah, I give him all nicknames. I offered nicknames to Body Catcher. So it's like, but it's interesting.
It's got that rapport with the players.
Yeah, but it's interesting that he came out saying, I just had a row. Because most players wouldn't say that. They say, just in a bad mood. But it's interesting, the whole situation with Dunkley. I don't think Dunkley was the player we thought we were signing. I think that double leg break actually affected him more mentally than it did physically. Because I'm wondering if the part of that just not going in for things like he would have done in the past.
I don't think he's bad for League One level, but I'm just saying if we get promoted, I'm not 100% sure he gets a new deal anyway.
He is a very good person in the dressing room by all what I've seen and stuff. He does seem to be, when you see like video going, he's the one that's in a lot of them. I'm not sure. League One, very good. Not sure if he would in Championship.
But I want to see more from him because the thing is, like, our defense is bad, right?
Yeah, it is.
And we need our centre backs to be leaders and on it. We need the person. If Iorfa's going to bring the ball out of the defence, we need the person next to him to be absolutely rock solid and shouting at that defence, getting him in order, and organising that defence.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit like the old Man United thing where everyone would take the ball out and Rio would just stand at the back and be there and organise it all.
Yeah,
and that's what you need, really, isn't it?
And that position's key. And if Dunkley's going to operate in that role, he needs to be at his best performance-wise. It's good that he's obviously not ruling out staying with Wednesday because we don't want players to have their head elsewhere. They're always going to say they're focusing on Wednesday. And I don't know why deals have been spoken about so early on. Probably because it's a slow news week. But
a slow news week, and I think there's a bit that I think, especially with us in defence, we've got a lot of issues in defence. And with two of them already in their injury things, I don't know what happens if we get another defence injury. I really don't.
No, I understand that completely. We've got Gibson, but
now he's injured.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's long term, do we?
Moore won't say on either if they're long term or not.
Oh yeah, he's come out with that this week, hasn't he?
He said it was a couple of weeks.
Means, Yeah, you got a very good point there.
So he's got to be fit.
Need a centre back.
Got one we got on loan. There's one that's on loan, Brennan.
Yeah, I might have to recall him. There is a reason we put short-term deals in there, isn't there? If we don't hear about the injuries on Hutch and Gibson and he gets recalled when he can get recalled, that's your answer to the injuries.
Yep.
Speaking of youngsters going on loan, Luke Jackson's extended his loan spell with Guiseley. Is it Guiseley or Guiseley? I've never heard of that place.
You're asking the wrong person for asking how things sound or pronounce.
Guiseley?
Guiseley sounds about right.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm being... It's just there's some places in the UK, even though you live there, that you're like, I've no idea what that says. Because you don't pronounce it like it's red.
No, you don't do me.
Don't even get me started on Sorby stuff, right?
Oh, God,
yeah. But yeah, he's extended his loan, so he'll continue in the National League for now and into November. In the same vein, Josh Dewadu has joined Stalybridge Celtic on a 1-month loan deal. I mean, I might have been triggered when you saw Celtic as part of that, but no, it's just Stalybridge. He's got a loan. I love seeing these youngsters go out on loan, get them some game time, see what happens.
And they've been really good in the under-23, so it's good to see him going, right.
They need to go and get kicked. Yeah, they need to go and get kicked, basically.
Much. Yeah.
Go and get kicked. See if you snap. If you don't snap, come back and we'll see.
This is what we've been calling for about, 4 seasons, even a little bit under Carlos.
Yeah.
Where we just want a player to go and play football. So it's nice to see more going, you know what?
Let's play football. The Joss man, just on the side of the pitch going, let's play football. But yeah, we've wanted this for a while. It'll be good to see it actually happening. Hopefully we can
benefit
tie this
from it.
contract, because we seem to be getting good youth contracts in there and doing the right things, and it's almost as if we're doing positive stuff with our academy again, which is nice to see. It's been always it has been an envious position looking at how the other side of the city have handled their academy. We've always needed to get that into check, especially because their academy is so close to our ground.
They were very smart when they did their academy. No, know what? We're gonna put it in enemy territory. Bang! Like, oh, that's a bit awkward. I'm driving through Hilborough and I hear Sheffield United's academy. What?
And then Harry Maguire has a crisis of who he actually supports. We all know you're a Wednesday fan, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of players taking responsibility, Dominic Iorfa reported in the sky. I mean, the stars are in the sky.
I can see where.
Reported in the Star says, we're just going to roll with this one today, boys. This is why I need one day off to rest.
Pretty much.
It was, I didn't go to Wimbledon, the Wimbledon match, obviously. And I was working all yesterday, and I'm just like, this is my day of rest. This is what
happens when you overwork a Dex.
Yeah, if I don't go to football and then rest on the Saturday, because if I count football as rest, let's not call that work. And I'm working on the Sunday, I'm brutalised pretty much when I come back in. Should we start that one again? So this is from the Star. The stick is warranted, Dominic Iorfa. No Sheffield Wednesday fans will turn if performances aren't right. Iorfa, who's played every single minute of Wednesday's league campaign so far, putting a good showing over the weekend. This was before, obviously, all of this going off. He said, and quote, everyone knows the expectations here, so a few bad results and fans will start to turn. We've been open saying it. The expectations for us are that we get promoted. So if we're not putting in performances that look like they could get us promoted, then obviously the stick is warranted. And we know that. It comes with the pressure of playing for the club. Everyone knows the expectations here, so a few bad results and the fans will start to turn. Why is that quote put down twice? Have you copied and pasted this wrong?
Nope. That copy and pasted from their article.
Why have they just quoted the same quote twice? I don't want to slander him here. I've got to check it myself now. Do you want to fill the air and talk about this?
Yeah, if I've made a mistake, I will hold my hands up, but I'm pretty sure I did that thing. Iorfa is very good at the minute, and he's looking like Iorfa of old, which is good, because I was really worried we weren't going to get the Iorfa of old. I thought we might get a Iorfa that doesn't want to put in tackles, be a bit, you know what I mean? When you get that situation when a player has an injury, especially at the back, the injury can affect them. I think this was one of his first properly big injuries, and at the end of the day, him coming out and saying that this is where it should be is fantastic. It feels like I'm saying promotion every time is actually helping put the pressure on themselves, which is needed to a point, but not needed at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was you, by the way, Jake. So the Star, you're off the hook. It wasn't you guys. But yeah, you can tell when I haven't had a week to put you can tell when Jake's mainly led the document sometimes. That's really mean. I didn't mean it like that. I'm such a git. I'm just like, none of that was necessary, was it?
The nice thing is, I know he's messing and joking, so it's fine. But someone who doesn't know all the comedy coming
yeah, because I'm just like, because we always say behind the scenes when we're sorting a document out, like, we'll always say it just like, Jake will openly say, you can tell I've put this together this week or something. And then I say it on the podcast, realise how it sounds when it's just come out of my mouth and go, you are a terrible human being.
You know what the message I normally get from Dexter in big capital letters? Where are the links?
Yeah, right. Even though like we're not like
to get it in.
Even though like we obviously started this as a fan podcast, just having a chat on the channel, bringing this on here because I wanted some more Wednesday content on the channel, and it would just develop on what we were doing anyway.
Yeah.
As I say, if we're gonna quote somebody's sources and do their journalism, we're gonna give the respect that you should give when you're citing sources,
which is the right thing to do.
And Jake didn't gather any of that. So I used to, for the first like 20 episodes, whenever he'd put something into the document, and I would then, because you'd send me suggestions originally, and I'd bring stuff in, but you'd only send me like copied and pasted bits and no quotes, no like links to anything where he got it, and it used to just be, where's this from? Where's this from?
I think on about like 35 episodes in, I was like, oh, I've got this now. Just take
you got pretty good now. I mean, it does help that Soph helps do the entire document as well.
Soph is doing it really well with just helping with this, and much appreciated to her.
Yeah. I basically, she sees the format and the stress that I do when I put the documents together and takes that all away. So it's quite quite helpful.
She's done it again. Oh God, Jake sent another document. Has he put links in? Do you need a drink?
She can shout at you now.
I know.
I don't have to worry about it. So that's all fun, right? Anyway, back onto the show. I am really glad we've got like long-term watchers on this podcast.
Same.
Because we do chat some absolute rubbish. Anyway, I'm not talking about the stats of our home scoring. I am going straight in to the upcoming matches. Let's talk about what Wednesday you're going to face over the next couple of weeks. It is quite a slow news week this week, in fairness. It's just mainly anger at Moore and that lot, which we do get sometimes, unfortunately, when in the situations you're in. So let's talk about Cambridge next, which is the night this podcast goes live. So how are you feeling about Cambridge before I get into their stats?
They remind me a little bit of Wimbledon with how they don't die. They like to fight. They're very good. They've shown, okay, I thought they may have a bit of an issue losing Mullen, but at times they've looked okay. And it's one of these ones, if we got to go there and do the right thing well, or we will have a situation like we've had at weekend. And if we're 1-0 up, go for 4.
Oh yeah, definitely. Go for 4, and then go for 6, and then just keep going. And like if we're not 8-0 up by like 90+1, we're in trouble. So
what, Jeff? You're telling me that when they're 10-0 up and they've got 92 minutes and they're 10 minutes out of time? Oh dear.
That's a good enough time. They'd genuinely be able to do it. You put the ball down, run all the way up, the defense just crumble, score, reset, go. They've got enough time with that, let's be honest.
They have.
I mean, if they do it really fast, they'll even win. It'll be 11-10. Right, but Cambridge stat-wise, their record is 3-5-3. They've got 14 points currently, 18th in League One. So we should, on paper, be getting a result here. If you look at, but games aren't played on paper, obviously. It's the old cliche. Their goals for is 16. Their goals against is 18. Their last match was a 2-2 draw with Ipswich Town, a struggling Ipswich Town.
They were winning that as well.
We need to win this, right? No excuses, Darren. No. This has got to be a win.
It's got to be a win. It's got to be, because we've got the game we've got coming up. I've seen people say 8 point minimum from it, and I'd say about right. The stupid thing is about the whole situation we talked about with our defence. We've got second best defence in the league.
I know, that's the stupid thing, because we've set the expectations so high. We honestly expected to come in, do a rebuild, bring in a load of players that had never played together before, and just start pasting teams like 3 and 4-0 every week. That's what we expected. Yeah. And it's not going to happen, but we do need to beat Cambridge.
You do know what the problem is, though. These are the kind of results and teams where you think we go against Wigan and Bolton, think, all right, we're going to get smashed here, they're really good, and we win. These are the kind of games, Wimbledon, where we need to get that mindset of go, this is treat it as that team and play that, because we don't have that mindset.
Got to keep an eye out for Joe Ironside for them as well. He's got 6 goals so far this season for them. So it's only October and he's got 6.
What a name, and he's the goal scorer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
2-match week this week, finally. Yes. We've got Lincoln City on Saturday. We can get into a rhythm, hopefully. They've actually got worse points per game, even though their points per game is actually slightly worse, even though they've got 1 more point, because they've got 4-3-5 as their record, and they're on 15 points, 13th in League One. Their home record, which doesn't really matter, is 8 points. And their away record is 7 points. I should mention for Cambridge, by the way, we are playing them at Cambridge, and their home record is 4 points higher than their away record. So they're better at home. So we'll have to put it up there. But Lincoln are actually better at home, and they are coming to Hillsborough on Saturday. So
one thing about Lincoln, they get a lot of penalties. They have had a lot of penalties this season. So
which will make up their 16 goals.
We gotta be very, very wary. They are the lad you actually put the goal for. He's a good player, Anthony Scully. And every time you watch the highlights, it's like he's a solid player. Now,
is Scully the penalty taker?
Yes.
So that'll be why he's got 7 goals.
He's also free kick taker as well.
Right. So Scully is their highlight goal scorer with 7 goals.
Lincoln, you got to remember, they were in the playoff finals last year, so they're going to want to go for a bit more. And
I thought they'd do a lot better this season, to be honest. I thought they were going to be well up there.
They're a slowly build side. Get to around March, and then it goes, kind of thing. Tough games. People will see this and go, "It Cambridge, it's Lincoln, we should be fashion." Nah, these are tough games.
Lincoln City aren't what Lincoln City used to be. It's a decent away day, actually, that as well.
Rubbish home shirt with that Virgin Media thing on the thing. I agree with you when you did your shirt thing. Having that sponsorship on ruined it completely.
Yeah, without it, it's quite a nice kit. With it, it's disgusting. Their last match was a 2-1 win at Charlton Athletic, so they're going to be on a high depending on what happens in the week. So, interesting week for Wednesday. A lot to talk about on the next episode of Talking Wednesday. Let's talk about the past a little bit, shall we? So, this is taken from Football League World, and now let's go back to an even worse time for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep.
Under Tony Pulis.
Yep.
Now, this from Football League World, quote, former Sheffield Wednesday winger Kadeem Harris has labelled Darren Moore a great manager and a great coach, and revealed there were disagreements in the squad under Tony Pulis. Do you know when we, end quote, by the way, but do you know when we did that Brown sort of kicked back quote? Some people thought we were making that out up when we'd heard that Brown and Pulis had a full-on argument in the dressing room when we did, the whole thing. That was true. We weren't making it up. We'd heard it from very reputable sources. Well, Jake had, hadn't you?
Yep.
So, interesting that this is now being spoken about.
It's also
by
interesting
players.
how more former players are talking about the Pulis thing.
Yep.
Because I've seen a couple other players talk about it, and it's interesting. It's like they're all going off the same hint sheet.
Going back into the article, quote, Harris spent 2 years with the Owls but left. We don't need to know all that.
I didn't know he had I didn't know he verbally had an offer and offered a new
Oh, actually,
deal,
no, we do need to know all that then. Okay, so Harris spent 2 years with the Owls but left when his contract expired in the summer, with the prospect of playing in League One this season meaning he opted to leave Hillsborough despite having been verbally offered a new deal. So that is interesting. That means that the 28 years old time under Moore, who took charge at Wednesday late last season, was unable to keep them in the Championship, was brief, but it seems he still had a positive impact. Speaking to The Athletic about the current Owls manager, he said, Darren Moore, a great manager and a great coach, he just came a little bit too late. It was a roller coaster of a season. There were a lot of ups and downs in day-to-day life around the training ground, but your team get relegated. But when your team get relegated, it sums up a negative time for a massive club that shouldn't be in League One. Hopefully, they bounce back. I have my place in my heart for them. So he's got a place in his heart for us, which is nice. It seems Harris is not quite as keen on Pulis, however, who had a nightmarish 10-game spell in charge with Wednesday in the same season. On the topic of the Welsh coach, the winger said Tony Pulis straight away came and completely changed the dynamics of the way we played. That period wasn't great for the team. We didn't get those wings, and there was a lot of disagreement about the way we were set up and so on. End quote. So he basically says Pulis came in and did what we said, just wouldn't let us attack, tilted the squad on its head, and the squad weren't happy, and Tony Pulis relegated us.
Can you imagine Barry Bannon and Tony Pulis having an argument?
That man who proudly boasts he's never had a relegation on his CV did relegate Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, he did.
without a doubt for me.
I think if Darren Moore came at that point we appointed Tony Pulis, we're still in the championship. Personally.
Yeah, same.
Because at that time he was being looked at by Barnsley for the job because they just lost their manager. So it's interesting how it's just annoying that we took so long to make this appointment when we did with Darren Moore. But can't change history.
No. And it'd have been a harder job for Darren Moore to do a rebuild. I reckon we'd have been facing a relegation battle in the Championship this season. Even with this, even if we could have brought in the same players, we'd have struggled.
Yeah.
But it would have been interesting to see the way things worked out. But for me, Tony Pulis relegated the club. And Harris coming out and saying those things sort of confirm what we'd been hearing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that's why we were so, hard on it when we were talking about it at the end of last season. That was there was substance behind our topics back then. That's why I'm quite proud we don't clickbait stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like if we're talking about something, there's stuff behind
solid
it.
evidence.
We're often if it's people call us out for clickbait, which is just lazy in itself, by the way. But it's just like we're asking a question on the topic and we're wanting people's response. So if you click on that, we're asking a question to you, Yep. We want a discussion there. But anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to our community about Sheffield Wednesday. The community topics for this week. The first one comes from Steve DJ. We've had Steve on for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
A massive fan of Addy Owen, I've heard as well. He asks this week, does Darren Moore have a plan B? Apparently not. If the last few weeks of results are anything to go by, he's giving us a story here. I like this, Steve. It seems to be win and win at all cost, which we're not doing. We can't even do the simple things like defend for 90 minutes. Yes, I know we only have 2 recognised centre-backs right now, but grab some talent from the academy for goodness sake. This is League One, where first-team football will do some of them the world of good. Some passionate words from Steve there. And to be honest, I do get what he's saying about bringing the academy lads through.
It makes a lot of sense. The thing is, when I spoke to Donny Rover fans in the past, they said he didn't have a plan B, and I think he's trying to work on a plan B now. You can see when he's doing certain tactical switches that he's trying to get that plan B right. So far, it's not working as well, but we do need to get, because we were looking at some free transfers on 2 players. I think one was actually a centre-back, and they both joined new clubs. I think one was joined Barrow. But we have the situation where at the start of the season, I wasn't too upset about our depth. I thought our depth looked solid. I thought it looked great, especially at the back. I actually thought at the back we looked a bit overloaded. But now...
It's quality though, mate. Quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
I think he's forming his plan B, Steve. I don't think he's got one specifically. I think he's trying to mess about with formation, see where he can do stuff. We don't have the depth for him to have a full plan B. It is difficult, but he needs, I'll be honest, in my opinion, Steve needs to get his plan A right and stick to it. It should be win at all costs, in my opinion. It should be win at all costs at this level for him. And to do that, he needs to sort his defence out. And it is the defence. Yeah. And he hasn't got any options to do a plan B with that defence at the minute. But as you've said, maybe look in the academy, see what we can do in terms of defending there. Maybe bring Brennan back off loan if we have issues.
He is somebody
delve into the market in January for me.
Yeah, I think we're going to go into market in January, bring a CDM and defenders, centre defender.
We still don't know if we can spend anything yet, but we might be able to do some magic that we did in summer. See what happens.
I'll be interested to see if we're still on this, whatever it is, because no one actually knows.
This is an interesting one from Robbie BCFC. So he's a Birmingham City fan writing in, by the way. He's got Birmingham, which is nice. Told you we had neutrals on this one. Top 5 performers at the club at the minute. Are you mocking us, Robbie?
Gregory?
The accounts department, probably. Still having all these fans coming through and managing to get all that money through the door. And
whoever's doing all the sponsorship agreement, cause like we've just done a new one on Friday with Odd.
Yeah. Gregory, Berahino, not Berahino. I want to say Berahino because Berahino's doing everything but score bloody goals.
Yeah.
You know, he's making, if he can just convert those chances he's actually getting on the end of.
Yeah.
And getting himself in there. His attack position is brilliant. He just needs to finish his dinner. Gregory, Adeniran.
Iorfa for me.
Iorfa. Patterson.
Yeah.
At the minute.
Yeah.
He's up there.
I also had somebody say also why Gregory and Patterson 2 and 2, 3 and 2 there. That's why the strike before all the mistakes it would have been Bailey, but it's not now for me.
It's hard to pick a fifth. Yeah, it would have been Bailey for me as well. There's not much to go on here, but I'm probably gonna say Palmer because he gets it over because there's nobody. Do you
Brown.
go Bannon?
Brown
or do you go? Me. No, because I'm gonna still say Bannon.
You're saying Bannon, I'm saying Brown.
Yeah, not Palmer. I'm gonna say Bannon because he's still our best player. He is, you know. So it doesn't mean I guess it's performance. It's a bit different, but he's still some of the stuff he can still do for the club. And you see it on the pitch weekly. It's still there. It's difficult. That's a bloody difficult question at the minute.
And this last question's difficult.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it.
No.
I'm not doing it either. We were asked about formation. Zayo N wrote in. We might use your question in the future.
Might do it Christmas. If we do it near Christmas or January time.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you are writing in on the community tabs if you want to be involved in that. But yeah, we'll talk about formations and things a little bit closer to that sort of time. Yeah.
That's it.
That's Talking Wednesday for this week. You got anything more to add, my friend?
Have patience with what's going on at the minute because...
Have a little patience.
I knew you were going to do something like that.
Go on.
But have patience at the moment because chopping and changing isn't always the answer. And we saw that the entire last season where chopping and changing didn't work. We got evidence that it don't work. Have some patience, back the team, and just enjoy life a little bit more because at the end of the day, football comes and goes. And yes, it's a big part of our life, but screaming on Twitter every 5 minutes, not the answer.
No. Let's... Look, we got 2 games this week. There's a lot to analyse on that.
Yep.
Enjoy the football. You know, it's the nights are drawing in. The old Harvest songs that we used to sing in primary school, and some of you will get hit with this with absolute nostalgia. But the air is getting much colder.
Yeah.
The nights are drawing in. Because autumn time has come again, or whatever it was.
Remember, you can now go to football, so just enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm trying to look on the positive side. I know that's annoying for some people, but there's got to be some voices out there that don't just completely smash everything to bits in terms of positivity. It's not the end of the world yet. Bad performances this week will make the situation a lot more ugly, but we can only see what happens over the course of this next week. Make sure you follow all our socials, you get involved in the community. Let us know what you think about what's going on at the club at the moment in the comments.
Don't forget
and
that you're streaming.
I will be streaming. There's so many people that watch this after the Tuesday, so I've already streamed. You are probably there. Hopefully you chatted to me and it was all good. But yeah, Tuesday night matches, I'm trying to stream them as much as possible. But that's it for this week's episode. Take care, and we will see you on the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.